Well. Holy shit. I have a lot of good things to say about this game because, oh man, there's a couple of bad things, but I think it's one of those things, the good can't help but trump the bad things 100%. Oh no. I'm just trying to think where to start. I mean, the environments are just vibrant, incredible, and fun to explore. The combat is satisfying and enjoyable. It feels strong. The story is amazing. And oh man, I love everything about this game. Easily, I've been thinking about it for quite a bit. I don't know if maybe it would be too strong to say this is probably one of the best games I have played in a long time. I mean, it's so good. The thing is, it's like, yeah, it's a Star Wars game. So I can't really say, it's original, per se. But I mean, at the same time, it really kind of is. I think I can think of a game that is anything like this at all for years. I mean, the combat's sort of Dark Soulsy. It is, but it isn't. The environments are completely unique. They take you along this path, but still give you enough to go back and explore. All of the collectibles in the environment are actually, they have meaning. You actually do stuff with. Kind of like back in the day, you have all these collectibles, and it's usually provides you with at least some kind of upgrade or some cool concept art. Sometimes it's some kind of cosmetic. But nowadays, you go after collectibles, and it's all just for an achievement or just for your own personal type of stuff. This, you have all the cosmetics, you have your upgrades, you have... Well, that's really it. That's all they kind of contribute to. But it's worth going after and exploring, because they're all really cool. They all kind of matter, in a way. I mean, the upgrades that matter because they're upgrades and they allow you to keep doing things. And the cosmetics, I mean, they're worth it because they just look so well done. And pretty much that's the whole thing with a lot of this game. I think Respawn just did so freaking good in terms of just the way everything looks and feels. It may be a weird comparison to go by, but I couldn't help but get vibes of the Ratchet and Clank games from all the way back on PlayStation 2. They really had that same kind of feeling of almost like this 3D platformer, not platformer, exploring, kind of learning the story as you go along type deal. I guess that's all the good. There's not a lot of bad things to say, but there are some, of course. It's definitely one of the more buggy games that I've played in a little while. I mean, trying to think, when did this game come out and let's see. Yeah, so it released in November. It is May. That's what? April, March, February, June, December. So, yeah, it's been about 6 months, almost 7, since this game came out, and there's still quite a bit of things that just weren't either working right. I mean, there were a couple of characters that were just stuck in their animation, not doing anything. Audio kind of stopped. At one point, my lightsaber was just stuck at my hip, and it caused me to not interact with things. The pop in with a lot of just things was bad, and sometimes was just abysmal. Like, it took a couple seconds for enemies and even environments, just entire portions of the environment were just gone and took too much time to render. They just pop in, which is weird and is not common. I think the only other bad thing I would say is the bosses and mini-bosses were sort of disappointing. They weren't necessarily, like, They were hard, but not in the good sense of hard. Mechanically, I think they should have done so much more. Boss fights in general were really kind of lackluster, being that they kind of threw, like, okay, like, the mini-boss characters were okay. It's like, okay, they have a certain pattern, you just fight them like any other enemy. But some of the bigger bosses were just kind of like, let's just throw a bunch of unblockables. That was true with just pretty much all the bosses. You had mini bosses, not even mini bosses, but they were like bosses, just kind of around the world. And then you had your real bosses, but they're just littered with this stuff that more so relies on your ability to dodge rather than your ability to fight. It's a very defense heavy kind of boss battle. And I don't know about anybody else, but I myself like boss battles where I can just kind of exchange blows. A little bit of offense, a little bit of defense. I want to actually revolve and go through the mechanics of the fight. And there really isn't any of that. I mean, some of the bosses just feel like tanks. They're just blocking everything, and then they're attacking you, and you have to block all of theirs and wait for this stamina bar to deplete. It was really kind of boring and lackluster. But, if you can look past those small things, honestly, they really are small. This game was a blast, and I definitely would love to come back one day and play it again a couple years down the road. I think this is one of those ones I could definitely see myself playing more than once, more than twice, more than 3 times. I would definitely play it more and more, because, yeah, goddamn. I kind of regret not being able to pay full price for this game. I bought it when it was on sale, and now I'm sitting here like, definitely worth the money. But anyways, I think those are my thoughts. I hope I provide at least some kind of insight as to either you purchasing it, or if you have already played the game and you're just curious what other people think, let me know. Anyways.